I love the Green Bay Packers, man. I think they have a lot of depth. I love the receiver they drafted. Mm-hmm. I love their feature back because he's my guy. And Aaron Rodgers was 27 when he won his Super Bowl. Favre was 27 when he won his Super Bowl.
Jordan Love's 32.
And my guy Jordan Love's going to be 27 in a couple of weeks.
Is if you looked at Green Bay with all the injuries they had to Jordan Love and all the youth they had at tight end and wide receiver, and they're still winning double-digit games. I mean, they won games with Malik Willis, who got thrown onto the squad in like August last year. Yeah. And it's like that tells you organizationally and coaching, they're a pretty special group.
But not only did they address it, they went out and got, again, one of the best pass rushers in the entire NFL. So I love them adding a closer on that side of the ball. Very excited about Matthew Golden, who Rob talked about in the first round. I think this Packers team is going to be incredibly formidable.
6 years ago, they fired the coach who got them there and replaced him with an unknown. 2 years ago, they traded the quarterback who hoisted their fourth Lombardi. And today, they're better positioned than they have ever been to make a run for their fifth. From blockbuster trades to ending franchise curses, these 2025 Green Bay Packers played no games this offseason. It was strictly business, strictly winning, and winning now at that. With a coach and franchise QB who overcame a heavy wave of initial doubt, they're fully battle-tested. Green Bay has flown out the gate in 2025 with more to prove and more to lose than any other team in the league, which makes Matt LaFleur's meticulously constructed Packers even scarier than you think. Despite his remarkable record since taking over, LaFleur earning the keys to the Packers franchise wasn't always such a popular notion. In fact, when he was hired back in 2019, there were plenty of dissenting voices. His claim to fame had been serving as the Falcons QB coach when Matt Ryan won MVP. He had a stint as the offensive coordinator in LA, but never got to call plays. In LaFleur's attempt to step out of McVay's shadow, he took the OC vacancy in Tennessee and helped a defense-led Titans team to a 9-7 record. For a franchise as important as the Packers, that was not the kind of resume that typically earned you a head coaching job. And the media let him know it.
Do I like the hire, Skip? I don't even know enough to like or dislike it. I mean, they're 27th in scoring, they're 25th in total offense.
Tennessee last
year. 29th in passing.
Yeah.
Skip, normally you think, okay, I get it. Everybody seems to want these young, hotshot offensive coordinators. But normally they're coming for, I can see them getting Kansas City's offensive coordinator. With Pat Mahomes, they led the league in scoring. Or they get Drew Brees, or they get or they go to Sean McVay again and get the OC. But y'all scored 20 points a game.
I'll say this too. I'm a little concerned if I'm a fan in the NFC about, did we just want to grab the latest trend? Like, I know it's all cool and I get a piece of McVay. It's like
cute.
Everybody imitates. And when, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys come out, that's great. You know how many O-Towns and B2Ks there were and knockoffs of, we got to get a bunch of guys together and sing. This could be that. I don't know. He's never been there. He's never proven it. It's exciting, but it's a little nerve-wracking.
But this relative unknown shocked the NFL world, reaching the conference championship in his first 2 seasons and injecting new life into an aging Aaron Rodgers, who won back-to-back MVP awards under LaFleur's watch. It turns out, the Packers brass had a hunch about the then 39-year-old, and were completely right. Green Bay has remained a top-half offense for the duration of his tenure, which is incredible when you consider that they haven't drafted a single offensive skill position player in the first round for over 20 years. Not to mention, they also withstood the loss of a future Hall of Fame quarterback. This is because of Matt LaFleur's unsung ability to establish a culture. That word gets thrown around a lot when discussing NFL coaching, but given LaFleur's relative inexperience when he took the job and the pressure to win all the time as a Packer, the atmosphere he's cultivated in Green Bay is something truly special. As former Jets head coach Robert Saleh explains, a lot of people want to discredit him because he has a Hall of Fame quarterback, but the reality is he's done a phenomenal job capturing a really cool locker room in terms of star players and talent and getting them all to play at a very high level. That's artwork to me. This was made even more apparent when Rodgers joined Saleh in New York and left LaFleur with his 24-year-old understudy, Jordan Love. Love was another young face whose arrival in Green Bay was heavily scrutinized by the media.
Stephen A., speaking of emotions, how should Aaron Rodgers feel about this move?
He should feel disgusted. He should feel insulted. And as far as I'm concerned, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd ask to be traded. To hell with all of them. Kick rocks. Have a nice life. I'll move on without you. That's how I feel Aaron Rodgers should feel at this particular moment in time.
But Matt LaFleur and general manager Brian Gutekunst knew exactly what they were doing. Jordan Love became the first QB in franchise history to lead Green Bay to back-to-back playoff appearances in his first 2 seasons as a starter in the league. There were some bumps in the road. He didn't get off to the smoothest of starts, but now the Packers had their centerpiece, and the most important position in sports was no longer a concern for them. What proved a far more complicated proposition? Finding these skill position players to surround him with. After taking a swing on running back Josh Jacobs in 2024 free agency, the Pack won 11 games, but were clearly a few steps behind the NFC's elite. Jaden Reed dropped more passes than the Seahawks, Saints, Rams, Eagles, Cardinals, Lions, and Raiders did all season, so there was clearly some work to be done on the jugs machine. In their wildcard loss to the Eagles, they had their 6th worst game of the season passing the ball, as Love tossed 3 interceptions, and they never truly looked like a threat. A coach and starting QB with inspiring underdog stories was great, but that same principle didn't work everywhere on the depth chart. Not having a clear wide receiver 1, that blue chip guy who could turn the tide of a game entirely on his own, had cost them dearly. As their Pro Bowl running back Josh Jacobs put it,
and then we probably missing like 2 or 3 pieces. And once we get that, we'll be all right.
What pieces?
Yeah. I would say, I think we need another DN.
Okay.
I think we need another DB, and then I think we need a wide receiver, a real wide receiver.
Myles Garrett
number one
will be here later.
Yeah, like I love the guys that we have in the receiving room. They all have potential to be one.
Right.
But we need a guy that's proven to be one.
Right. Command some double coverage every now and then. Right.
For the big moments, they needed the right kind of player. With Green Bay hosting the 2025 NFL Draft, it was the perfect occasion for Gutekunst, LaFleur, and the entire organization to make a statement. For the first time since 2002, the Packers selected a wide receiver with their first-round pick. Matthew Golden was the name, and he's much more than just his blazing 4.29 speed. Golden was a bona fide big-game player in his lone season with the Texas Longhorns. In one of the highest pressure environments in all of college football, the wideout stepped up on the biggest occasions. He came to life in the playoffs, with season-saving touchdowns and chain-moving catches against the best of the best. Now, showing up for big moments in the NFL is a totally different ballgame, but Matt LaFleur explained how the Packers made sure that Golden was adjusting to life in the league.
Shoot, we were out there earlier today, and I went over to tell Matthew something about one of his routes, and I was just about to start talking, and then Romeo Dobbs grabbed him and started talking. And I said, "Hey, you talking about the Dover?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "All right, you got him." So, but that's a pretty cool thing to watch these guys. That's something that we're stressing with our team. We have a young team. We've had the youngest team the last 2 years, and just it's important, I think, just to develop the leadership that is needed, that when you get into those, tough division games or playoff type games, that you have a player-led team that can help get you through those tough moments.
The idea of a player-led team is central to the culture that LaFleur and his coaching staff have established in Green Bay. One of accountability to oneself, but also to one's teammates, which means mentoring the guys who are up next and taking on whatever role the game throws at you. And if there's one player in the league that is not afraid to take accountability, calling out himself, his teammates, and his organization whenever they come up short, it's Micah Parsons.
Let's just get right into the loss. Obviously, Jordan Love played an unbelievable game. But at the end of the day, we were just outperformed, out-schemed, however you want to put it. Like, they had an answer for everything. And people saying, well, why ain't you go to linebacker? Because, they said you could stop the run. Well, guess what? The packages are in for me to go to linebacker. There's multiple packages, multiple variations. When you go around the league and you see these other teams taking care of their best guys, I see TJ got taken care of. Max got taken care of. Miles got taken care of. And you got 2 years left on his deal. So it's hard to, you see a lot of people around the league getting taken care of. You just, wish you had something that, that same type of energy. I'm more like an artist.
What does that even mean?
Like
That's great.
I'm like a singer rapper. Like I'm an artist.
Oh, you're like Prince.
Like Michael Jackson on steroids.
After things turned sour in his contract negotiations with the Cowboys, Dallas was willing to deal him to the Packers for 2 first-rounders and Kenny Clark. What makes Micah an even better fit than his personality alone is that Green Bay was far from the most efficient pass-rushing defense in the league last season. Rashawn Gary led the team with 7.5 sacks, while 2023 first-rounder Lucas Van Ness didn't make the fabled second-year leap, with just 7 career sacks to his name heading into 2025. No doubt, Parsons has already shown that by his mere presence, he opens things up for these guys. In Week 1 against Detroit, Van Ness led the team in pressures with 4, and Parsons was right behind him at 3. It certainly helps matters that Van Ness is built like a brick shithouse, so at his best, he can be rotated anywhere along the line and wreak havoc. Spending your 13th overall pick on an edge rusher is no small investment, so the Packers have got to be happy with the ripple effect of Micah's arrival. As Parsons himself explained post-game,
so we got some real dogs up front, and it allows me to take my time, get all the way back. You see Van Ness, you see KB, you see Rashawn. I don't got to be in a rush to get back. This team is so loaded, and the sky's the limit, and I think we're going to be a really good football team.
So if we go back to Josh Jacobs' 3 big offseason needs, the Packers addressed all 3 of them. A new wide receiver 1 in Matthew Golden, a D-end in Micah Parsons, and they brought in cornerback Nate Hobbs in free agency to bolster the secondary. Xavier McKinney is the biggest name in the defensive backfield for Green Bay, but given his hefty price tag at $48 million over 4 years, Hobbs will be expected to make a difference in 2025. Let's check back in with Jacobs and see how he feels about Green Bay's offseason.
They got Matthew Golden, they got Micah Parsons, they got 2 free agents. How do you feel about how that offseason went?
I think we did good. I think it shows, this organization, but not only that, but this team that, we want to win, and we want to win now. So I think the sky's the limit for this group.
That's a big smile.
Yeah.
That's the look of a man who knows he's in for one hell of a year. His best shot at a Lombardi lies right in front of him. And from the early goings, the Pack has looked like a championship team. Jordan Love has been a more efficient passer than at any other stage in his career. According to Next Gen Stats, he was a demon targeting wideouts on intermediate routes, completing passes to 10 different Packers receivers, including every receiver who ran at least 4 routes. Love also had the highest big-time throw rate in Week 1, a testament to his improved play and overall game-breaking ability. One of those big-time throws came on this beautifully threaded touchdown pass to Tucker Kraft. Elite anticipation and placement from Love, who is delivering at an extremely high level, which he needs to maintain if Green Bay is to make a deep playoff run. Whether it's commanding the line of scrimmage or throwing darts downfield, Love looks comfortable as ever in 2025. Now, posting 27 points on a healthy Lions defense is one thing, but keeping their offense out of the end zone until the final minute of the game is a ridiculous achievement in its own right. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley has reaped the rewards of the Parsons trade more than anyone else, as the constant pressure he provides has afforded the team's other pass rushers more favorable matchups. Second-year linebacker Edgerrin Cooper and his partner in crime, Quay Walker, have flown downfield to stop the run with their elite speed and anticipation. Even without their marquee free agent signing in Nate Hobbs due to injury, this secondary has still played lights out, no doubt benefiting from the improved pass rush. McKinney, Javon Bullard, and Evan Williams have been tough to get the ball past. While the cornerback room may not have the household names that the safeties do, Micah Parsons is determined to change that. The football season is here, and this year, I'll be using ProfitX as my go-to for season-long plays and player props. ProfitX is America's #1 sports prediction market, where you can win real money predicting sports in 40-plus states. You'll get better odds than traditional sports books because you're playing against others, not the house. With ProfitX, you can request your own odds, play with confidence, and get super fast payouts straight to your bank, card, or even crypto. And here's the best part. Right now, If you sign up at ProfitX.co and use promo code TDK, you'll get up to $200 in profit cash on all your plays for the first 30 days. Sign up now at ProfitX.co and start winning real money predicting sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, I'm going to tell them this. I've never not had a Pro Bowl or All-Pro corner. And so that should mean something to them. I'm going to make them a lot of money. That ball's going to come out a whole lot quicker. But that's what it's about, though. It's about feeding off each other, making plays off each other. It's just a team game. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly how the Packers defense will continue to dominate. The pass rush will hound opposing QBs. Parsons' unreal pursuit speed will terrorize them in and out of structure, and the secondary will clean up errant throws while the speedy linebackers shut down the run. Tony Romo made a compelling comparison for this Packers team.
Green Bay reminded me a little bit of the Lions last year, where you're like, whoa, they are flying to the football, all 11 guys, all 11 hats to the ball. And to me, that you have Jordan Love, you have these weapons, and you have this coaching staff, and you added Parsons, and it's like, but this was really the difference today, was they imposed their will on the Lions, and that's usually what the Lions do. And so this is, I'd be excited if I was a Packers fan right now.
Sounds like a recipe for success. And from Matt LaFleur's reaction to Micah Parsons' first sack, he certainly thinks so too.
It looked like a speed of light or a shooting star just coming out of the sky and closing ground fast, which, I mean, that's why he's here, right? I mean, that was really exciting to see. I think I definitely know that our crowd reacted the right way as well. I mean, I don't know if I've heard our crowd much louder than when they introduced him, and certainly on that sack.
So, with the right coaching, the right players, and the entire fan base behind them, there aren't many teams that can intimidate these 2025 Green Bay Packers. Since the start of the season, they've been dominant in every phase of the game, as they look to go all in with the roster they have now after 6 years of LaFleur installing his football philosophy, and more importantly, a strong culture. It's been 15 years since the Packers last lifted a Lombardi. Now, with LaFleur's culture, Love's growth, and Parsons' wrecking games, this might finally be the year Green Bay takes it back. So, what do you think? Are the Packers destined to bring the trophy home, or is the wait going to continue? Let me know in the comments.